Have you ever finished praying and felt absolutely nothing? You said the words, you closed your eyes, you meant it, but when you opened them, heaven felt just as silent as before. If that is you, you are not alone, because prayer was never meant to feel like talking to an empty room. And today, we are going to uncover 5 habits that will completely transform the way you pray and the way God responds. The problem is not that God stopped listening. The problem is that most of us were never taught how to pray. We inherited a style, we copied a formula, we repeated words that someone else wrote. But prayer is not a performance. It is a conversation. And like any conversation, the way you show up changes everything. In this video, we are going to walk through 5 biblical habits that will transform your prayer life, starting today. These are not complicated. They are not religious rituals. They are shifts, small, practical, and backed by scripture. Let's get into it. Habit 1. Be still first. Most of us rush into prayer like we are placing an order. We open with requests before we have even arrived in the presence of God. Think of it this way. If a friend called you and immediately started listing demands without even saying hello, you would feel used, not connected. God feels the same. Psalm 46:10 says, "Be still and know that I am God." Stillness is not the pause before prayer. Stillness is prayer. Here is what this looks like in real life. Before you say a single word, spend 60 seconds in silence. Breathe. Acknowledge where you are, let your mind settle, then speak. Habit 2. Pray the word. Most prayers are full of our words about our problems. Biblical prayer is full of God's words about God's promises. There is a difference between telling God what you need and reminding God and yourself of what He already said. Isaiah 55:11 says, "My word will not return to me empty, but will accomplish what I desire." When you pray scripture, you are not informing God. You are aligning yourself with what He already declared. Here is what this looks like in real life. Pick one verse that addresses your situation. Read it out loud. Then say, "God, you said this. I am standing on this today." That is praying the word. Habit 3. Name it exactly. Vague prayers produce vague faith. Most of us pray, "God, bless me, help me, fix things." But specificity is an act of faith. It means you actually believe God can handle the details. Matthew 7:7 says, "Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find." Ask, not gesture, not hint. Ask. Here is what this looks like in real life. Write down exactly what you're praying for before you pray. Not a category, a specific outcome. Not, "Bless my finances." God, I need this bill covered by Friday. Specific prayers produce specific testimonies. Habit 4. Thankfulness. First prayer that opens with gratitude enters God's presence differently than prayer that opens with need. When you lead with thanksgiving, you remind yourself, before you ask for anything, that God has already been faithful. Philippians 4:6 says, "In everything, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God." Thanksgiving is not optional, it is the posture. Here is what this looks like in real life. Begin every prayer session by naming 3 specific things God has already done. Not generic, specific. 3 moments, 3 answers, 3 faithfulnesses. Then bring your requests. Habit 5. Daily, not desperate. Most people only run to prayer when everything falls apart. But a relationship that only activates in emergency is not a relationship. It is a rescue line. 1 Thessalonians 5:17 says simply, "Pray continually." Not when things are bad, not when you remember, continually. Here is what this looks like in real life. Anchor prayer to something you already do daily. Morning coffee, evening walk, before you open your phone. Attach prayer to an existing habit and it becomes part of who you are, not just what you do when you are desperate. Let's bring it together. 5 habits that will transform your prayer life. 1. Be still before you speak. 2. Pray scripture back to God. 3. Name exactly what you are asking for. 4. Lead with gratitude before petition. 5. Pray daily, not only in crisis. These are not complicated, they are consistent. And consistency is where transformation lives. If this video found you at the right time, if you have been feeling like your prayers are hitting the ceiling, I want you to do one thing. Pick one of these 5 habits and start it today. Not all 5. 1. And type "I'm showing up" in the comments if you are committing to that today. If this helped you, share it with one person whose prayer life needs this right now. Subscribe to Gospel Fix for weekly Bible-based answers to the real questions of faith. I will see you in the next one.